Hi, welcome back. In today's session, let's see how to secure the configuration properties in Mulesoft. We'll create a property file with the properties to be secured, and we'll use Anypoint Enterprise Security to encrypt the properties, and we'll connect to Exchange and use the Mule Secure configuration properties extension module to set the secure configuration properties. So we have a DB connection details in the properties files. We already have created the properties files where the username passwords are visible to everyone. So let's go and encrypt these properties using Anypoint Enterprise Security plugin. So let's go to Anypoint Studio and see the workflow that we already have it working. So this is a get trains API. So this has a DB connection and we are calling a DB to get the train information. So once the API is called, the train information will be returned back. So based on the train number, we get the train information. So this is the API where we are connecting to database and retrieve the data from the DB. So the property file has the details of the database connections, and in the configurations you can see that the details, host, port, username, passwords are read from the properties files. So now we'll have to take these connection details, only the database connection details, username and password we need to encrypt so that it will not be visible to everyone. So let's copy these details and create a new properties file specific for encryption. So let's copy paste the same file and rename it. We are creating a specific file for to place all the properties to be encrypted so that it will be easy to maintain and refer in future. So let's create a security property file specific to the environment. Retain only the properties that we need for encryption, the username and password. So let's create secure properties files for all the environments, prod and Q as well, with the same details, same username and password. QA secure.yaml. So now we have the properties file ready, and the secure files are having the details to be encrypted. And if we try to open the file, we should get the Mule property editor. We are not getting it, right? So we will have to install a software. So let's go and install new software. Click on add. We have to add the repository to get the plugin that we want. It's Anypoint Enterprise Security, and the location, let's copy from here, from the site where this software is available. So let's copy the link and paste it in the location. Click on add. So now we can see all the modules for Mule Security. So let's select all and click on next and accept the agreement and install. We'll have to restart Anypoint Studio. We'll restart the studio so that the new plugin will be available and we can use the same for the property encryption. Anypoint Studio is restarted. Okay, we have the studio is reloaded. We can see the properties to be encrypted in secure file. Now we can see the Mule Properties editor. If we try to open with, we can see the editor, right? So if we go here, for each property, we can see the encrypt details. We have username and property. This is a YAML file. If we try to encrypt from here, after the encryption, the response will be in the dot properties format. So the YAML file will be corrupted. So let's create a new property file. It's a temp file where we can have the details of the properties to be encrypted. The dot property file is created. So let's create and place the properties to be encrypted. We just want the username and password, right? So let's edit it. mysqldb dot username, and similarly for password. So this way we can create the properties file for these properties, and just like how we had the YAML file, we have created a properties file for these two properties. So now let's click on this, right click and open with Mule Property Editor. For each property, we can see that the encrypt option is available, right? Click on encrypt. Here we have to give the algorithm that we are using to encrypt the property. Let's save these details because we need to define these properties in the configuration. Yes, the password, we have to save it. We have to use the same password for encryption. Now the value is encrypted. We can do the same for password as well. Let's encrypt. Now it's using the same algorithm and password. Click on OK. Since both are having the same values, we can see the same encrypted values for both username and password. So let's copy those and paste it in those particular secure files. Let's use the same value for other domains as well, because the username passwords are same for all the domains. In reality, that will not be the case. You will have different connection details for each domains. Okay, now the secure properties are ready. Let's run the project. Now we have just created the secure properties files, but we are not using it anywhere, right? So let's go and use it from database configuration. To use the secure properties, we have to use the keyword secure. We just encrypted the username and password, right? So let's, this MySQL DB and username, it's still same inside the secure file. So we are just editing the same property and using secure keyword, secure and colon, so that the system will know that these properties are encrypted. Okay, let's click on OK. Yeah, it's still referring to MySQL DB, and in the next level we have username and password. So it's fine. Now the properties are read from the environment files, right? But how the system knows that the secure properties should be read from the secure file, right? And we have to give these details to let the system know that these are secured, and we have to use these details for decryption. So we have to define those details in some configurations. So for that we need to define the secure configuration properties. Secure property configurations. Let's search for it and see if it is available. No, it's not available. We have to get it from the exchange. I have already connected. So if you are not connected, you can add the account. You can just sign in by using your username and password. Just sign in, the account will be added. Now search for Mule Secure properties, or Mule Secure configuration, and we have to use this connector so that the secure property configuration will be available. Now it's added. In the left side we can see that secure properties is available in the project. Now let's go and create a property configurations. So global element create. Now we can see that secure properties configuration is available, and here is where we can define the details of the file, the secure properties files, and the key that we have used, all the details. And where is the secure properties files? It's in properties, and for now let's refer to local file, local.yaml. Sorry, it's a local secure file, right? We should use local secure.yaml because local file is not having the secured properties. It's a secure file. And the key is the password that we have used during the encryption. When we edited from Mule property editor, we have given the same key, so let's use the same. Blowfish, click on OK. Mode, leave the default as it is. Now the secure properties configuration is defined, and in the database configuration it's already reading the secure properties because we have already used the secure keyword, so the system knows from where to read. Now it should read from secure file using the key details and the algorithm details. It's deployed. Let's run the application and see if it's working. No records for try number 10. Yeah, we are getting the train information successfully. That means system is able to establish the connection to database successfully by using the secured properties. Now let's try to read the values from the secure file. Let's try to read username, which is a secured property. Let's copy the property placeholder that we have used in the database configurations. Let's paste the same details here. And refer to password, and this time we will use the dollar symbol, not the p function. Above we have already used a p function and passing the property placeholder, and the second time let's use a dollar symbol to read the property details. Okay, now let's let it deploy. Yeah, it's already deployed. No, it's deployed now. Let's run the application. Now we can see that username and password, they both are returned successfully. Okay, here the details are hard coded, right? So let's create a variable. Let's use them through a variable. Let's define key for the password and env for the environment, so that we can read the property details based on the environments. It can be local, QA, or prod. Okay, now the properties are defined, configuration details defined. So we can use global property and define the value for the variables. Here we can see that the error we can use global property configuration and define the key value, but this time let's define the variables and give the values from run configurations. Here we are already having environment variables, and with QA value let's do the same and add the value for key as well. We'll have to use -d followed by that particular variable name and equals and then value, right? So now we have -d env is equal to QA. So basically it's referring to QA environment, and the key is the password that we have used for the property encryption. So let's apply and run. Now the system should get the value for key and also for environment, and now the system will refer to QA.ml and QA secure file. Let's run the application. Yes, we are getting the username and password successfully. So now it's dynamically getting the values for key and environment, and it's working fine. So we will have to remove this username and password from the environment properties files, because we don't need them anymore, because they are already defined in the secure files, and we are also using the secure properties in the application, so we don't need them anymore. So we can see that in the secure file we have the encrypted username and password, right? And also we have used this .properties files for the encryption, right? We don't need this also, because anyways we have encrypted the values, the properties that we wanted to encrypt. So let's remove this also, it's not required. Yeah, now we have the properties, environment properties property files, and we have defined the secure properties details we got from Exchange, the secure properties module, and used this to define the secure properties configuration. And here we have defined the details of the secure property files and the key and the algorithm that we have used for the encryption. And also from DB configurations we have used secure keyword to read the secure properties, right? So let's run the application. Okay, in the transform message we are building the payload where we are adding the username and password. We are reading these values from the property file, secured properties, right? So let's read the secure properties from logger as well. Click on fx, and here we can use the data weave expressions. So better we will copy the details from transform message itself, and we'll edit here, paste it, and retain the details only what we need, the username and password, remove everything else. Yeah, now we are reading the details from secure property file. Let's save it, let it get deployed. Yeah, let's run the application and see if we are getting the log message properly. Yes, we are able to see the username and password, right, as expected. We are currently reading from secure properties, and the system is able to decrypt them properly. So let's recall what we have done. So we had the property file where the DB configuration has the username and password. we have used Anypoint Enterprise Security module for encryption. We have installed a new software and got Mule property editor, where we have edited the dot properties files. We have not edited .ml, we have created dot property files, and as soon as we click on the property, we get option to encryption, and here we can define the algorithm and the key. And this is the key is important. Algorithm details also we have to define later. So we got the encrypted details to property files, and we have copied the same to that particular secure files. And then we got the module from Exchange, the security properties module, and define the details of the secure property files and the key and the algorithm. And then in the DB configuration, we have used secure keyword so that the system knows that these properties are encrypted, and the system should decrypt it and then establish the connection with the database. And for that, it uses the configuration, the secure property configuration that we have defined. Thank you.